We're live.
Okay. So thank you. Welcome to our booster meeting. Thank you for coming. I want to remind you that our meeting is being live streamed. You cannot hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't know.
I don't think it was on. Can you?
No one's here yet. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
It's on.
You're on my tongue.
Try it.
You're gonna need something too close so you can get crazy.
Don't worry, no one's here yet. Would you like me to stand like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Testing. Okay, maybe. All right. So thank you for coming to our March meeting. It's being live streamed. I want to remind you that the tax docs went out at the beginning of January. I know everyone's going to start doing their taxes soon, so if you don't have them, let me know, because I'll have to get them for you. And also, you might mention this, Mr. G, but there's only like 13 weeks of school left, so we're like in the final stretch. And now I will turn it over to Mr. G for his report.
Thank you. Okay, so a couple quick announcements. You might have noticed that right outside, the tile wall in front of the library has started to go up. So there's probably good 40 plus tiles up there. And it's been arranged in such a way where we can add more tiles. If there's anybody that did a tile, but maybe you said, hey, I painted a tile, I give to Renaissance Dream, but it's not quite up there yet. Please let us know, and we'll look for it, and we'll give you another tile to create, just in case. I think we have them all. All the ones that were glazed were put up. So I want to thank Renaissance Dream for her work in getting them ready, and then thanks to Jacob, of course, for fixing them onto the wall. So that's going to be an ongoing project. I think we're going to do another round, maybe at International Day Festival. We'll sell some more tiles, and we guys can paint them, take them home, paint them up, bring them back, and then we'll glaze them and have them mounted onto the wall. Okay? Questions on the tile project? I think we're gonna add another color to it too, so it's gonna be like all the blues, but maybe add a red or something. So they add different colors so it kind of pops a little bit more. Reading is fundamental, our second event. So I want to thank those people that came out and they read for the first one. The second one is going to be March 15th, so Friday, March 15th. And I believe some of the teachers might have reached out to the room parents to kind of pass this information along. I do have a template that I'm going to pass around. We need volunteers to go into the classrooms to read in either English or in French. The max is really 3 per class. 2 volunteers will get to read, and maybe 1 can help pass out the books when the kids come to collect the books to help with that process. Anything more than that, I think it kind of draws it out too much. I think if you read like 3 stories to them at a time, the kids kind of tend to tune out after a while. So I'm going to circulate this again. Please just sign up for the time and for the room that you're interested in reading in, and whether it's English or French. It doesn't necessarily have to be your kid's room, but just you can, or you can choose to read in a different classroom. So I'll pass that on. Also, we've been presented, there's this organization called Zim Cares, where they send us all kinds of cool little goodies that we use as prizes for like perfect attendance during the month and stuff. But they have this really kind of neat idea. It's called a Family Book Circle. And we'll pass this around as well. What it is, for a monthly fee, you sign up kind of like the families are participating with the French books that they get once a month. Same thing, but these are English books, so you get a hardback book, you get a conversational starters, and then you get activities to do with your child based on the book. So it's $19.99 a month, and we do get 10% of that. It comes back, so it's kind of like a fundraiser. So if anybody's interested in doing this, I will pass it around, and then we'll distribute some more flyers. But kind of a neat opportunity, kind of like what we're doing with the French books, but in English. The next thing is that during open house, after open house, we will be screening a French film. Well, it's not really a film, it's a collection of short animations. So cartoons based on the poems by Jacques Prévert. It's called En sortant de l'école, or Leaving School. So it's a bunch of little short cartoons, little animes of about 5 or 6 minutes each, based on popular French poems. So that'll be after after the tours of not the tours, but the walking, the classroom visitations of the open house. So that'll start at 6 and it goes about till 6 to 6:45. So that'll be on the same date as open house. Okay? And I think that's all I have. I will be around for questions. Any questions regarding what I just said? Any of those topics? No?
So you said 6 to 6:45 today?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's gonna get, there's gonna be a flyer that goes out for open house, and that information will be on there. So we're gonna do it the day of open house, the 22nd, and then we're gonna screen it again on the 29th. So those 2 consecutive Fridays. Okay.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a quick look at the calendar. We're looking at March through May. So Tiger Graph, fantastic event, and right on cue, Alan walks in. He will give a recap a little bit later on, but thank you to everyone that participated, that helped day of in advance. Booster meeting, y'all are here in live or streaming online at home. Book fair is coming up. We'll also give an overview of that. A sign-out link has gone up, so if you're interested, parents, make sure you sign up. Lots of help is needed. Help early in the morning, so if you go to work and want to help before that, great. There's also help needed all throughout the day. Open house is coming up on the 22nd. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit too. Then in April, we'll have our morning meeting. We'll be back to the morning on the 11th, and we'll talk about budget review and also talk a little bit more about elections. We'll also have the walkathon coming up on the 12th. Veronica's here tonight to give you more details on that in just a bit. Followed by the science fair on the 24th. And then once we hit May, almost the end of school, we'll have Big Sunday Garden Day. Some more details to come from Cammie on that, but we'll want to rally some support to go work in the garden. And then we'll have on the 9th our next evening meeting, and that's where we'll vote on budget for next year, as well as our officer elections. So if anyone is interested in running for an officer, we'll have more details on that, but start thinking about what you would like to do. And then the International Festival's on the 17th. So that will be just International Festival, no silent auction this year, but there will be the performances with all the kids singing. And the staff appreciation lunch, and then followed by the volunteer tea on the 31st and spring concert. So if you've been a volunteer throughout the year, lists are starting, so make sure you get on one of them, and you'll get invited to that tea in the morning as a celebration, and thank you for all the work that's been done throughout the year. Do you have a question?
Yes. If you already kind of know your schedule, you know that you're free then too.
All right, and that is our calendar, and so Kristen, book fair.
Oh, fair. Rhonda's
Rhonda's
here.
here.
Because she really.
Oh, Jamie couldn't make it, so she sent me some notes. Alexis is handling decoration. The theme is Paris. We are decorating on Monday, not sure what time yet, ask Alexis. Tuesday, we're setting up, can use help from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Anybody who wants to come to help. Sign up. Genius went out through Room Herons. We already have some sign-ups. Preview day is Wednesday. We need help most from 9:45 to 11:45 and from 12 to 1:40 for the lower grades. Thursday and Friday sales, for anybody who buys a book on Thursday will get a bag of popcorn. That's it.
Thank you. Yay.
And I'll add about the book fair that it's super cute. If you've ever been there on the preview day, like they all go in together as a class and they get really excited about books and stuff. So if you do have time to come in and shop with them, they'll probably take you right to the Captain Underpants aisle. But it's very cute and it's a nice way for them to get excited about reading, I think.
Where do you guys set it up?
What's that?
Where do you set it up?
It's in the library. Yeah.
Rhonda, did you say the lower grades, Rhonda, for the lower grades sign up, was it on the Wednesday afternoon, they're from 1
Yes.
to 2:20, so that's
Yes.
second or third through?
No, one thing.
Okay. And so it's second grade, like kinder first and second?
Yeah.
Well, that's the Wednesday's the preview day, right? So nobody's really shopping that day. It's
No,
like
but that's when
Thursday,
that's
Friday.
the cute day okay with the young.
Oh, yeah,
that's what
that
I
is
needed,
the cute
huh,
day.
young ones.
Yeah.
Because particularly the K.
Yeah.
Because they can't actually write down what they want.
Yeah, it's right, because they can't write it down and there's like a bunch of them all at
It's
once, so
chaos.
that's a nice time to volunteer. All right, so open house. Open house is the day where you get to check out your child's classroom for the next year. We also have food for sale. Noonan's doing it this year, and it's gonna be crepes, which, what could be bad about a crepe? So that's awesome.
And that's all that goes.
Noonan is coordinating it, they're for the actual.
Oh, yeah, he's not cooking.
He's not cooking.
Crepe
yeah.
Crepe person is making it. Yeah. So, come to open house. It's a great, fun night, and all the kids hang out, and you can, yeah.
So open house is to view all the great stuff that your kids have done in the classroom, in particular for this year. The classroom visits go from 5 to 5:30, and then 5:30 to 6 if you have more than one kid who attends here. Lots of parents do want to go to like the next grade level to see like who the possible teacher might be next year. Just keep in mind that the grade levels aren't actually set. It's funny, lots of parents seem to know who next year's 4th grade teachers will be, and I have yet to hire anybody, or I don't even know who they are quite yet. So it's kind of funny how the rumors fly. So I'm sure though, many teachers might ask, like, well, who's going to be the 4th grade French, or who's going to be running it? And you're going to want to go to these classrooms, but they don't exist yet. So again, you do have an opportunity to visit classrooms and who you might suspect might be next year's teacher, and most likely they'll stay pretty consistent, but there is a possibility that the people might switch around come next year, so just keep that in mind.
All right, fair enough. That's all I got for
And
open
book fair
house.
will be open during open
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we have lots of French books coming from the Librairie Albertine in New York. We've ordered lots of variety of grade levels in French as well. In English and French. So.
And we're talking about book fair?
Yeah,
Yes.
ooh. Here we go. This is decorations.
Oh, goodness, right on. Okay, I was just talking to Mr. Jacob in the library, so our official theme is going to be Paris. And we're gonna do an Eiffel Tower and stuff. And I was thinking if the volunteers are willing that, we could wear berets and like a little bit, get into it. And then, one question actually that we were talking about is maybe, if we could maybe in addition sell like coffee and croissants outside or inside the library, just kind of go with the theme and, make it a little bit fun for everybody. So anyway, that's kind of the idea, and then the thought is that whatever we use, we can kind of recycle for the school afterwards if we have any posters or the Eiffel Tower or whatever, and do something fun with it, so.
We also have a French author who's coming, who's going to be selling her book on the side as well.
Oh, cool.
She came, I think, maybe 2 years ago to read her book to different classes, and so she wants to come back and just
Great. Okay, well that's it, I'll pass it on.
And how
Sonia
do you
says,
purchase
"Yay,
those books
Alexa."
happen? Like, how does that work? The purchase of books? Like, is it like a cash thing or it goes?
It's cash. It does go with the credit cards. There's a little machine to read the credit cards as well. So it's a standard cash register like most stores. The kids will have an opportunity to go during their recess, lunch, and after school.
Okay.
Parents will have an opportunity to go, well, at the same times if they want, or after school will be open. And then usually the big one is the day of open house where we keep it
Friday.
open late, and that's exactly
22nd. Okay.
rush of people.
But they will have an opportunity to look at what's around
That's-
before, and then they'll be
yes.
like, I want this book,
That's
or
the
I've
preview
seen
day
this.
on Wednesday, so they look and see what they want to purchase, and then Thursday and Friday they bring them.
Parents
and they
can come in with money.
But we have to, we need volunteers. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it won't be open if there's no
Yeah, I signed up
volunteers.
for Friday.
Yeah.
And I believe, at least according to the schedule, the goal is to start at 7:45, which is great then. So then if you are just dropping off, you can quickly go there during drop
Yeah.
off.
Sign up for that.
Okay, you're up.
Do you guys still have that calendar going around that we have to fill in?
Yes.
That one.
We didn't let it fill it out, so now.
Oh, okay. For the reading.
Hello everyone, it's walkathon season, well, it's almost there. Walkathon is April 12th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And for those of you who are brand new this year, it's a fun event where kids run labs and raise money for our music program. And right now, sorry, being on TV is kind of.
Channel 5. 3 people are watching. Don't worry, only 3 people are here. And they're your friends.
Okay, there's 3 ways you can support Walkathon. The first is to define community sponsors, like other corporations, businesses. So if you have any contact with businesses or if you're a business owner and would like to support our music program, please be part of it. It's $500 to be on our banner. There's a little flyer in your packet that everyone received with information. We're asking for 5 corporate sponsors, 5 new corporate sponsors, right? 1 from each class. So each grade, please go out and find a corporate sponsor. And say that you need a business that are like, oh, $500 is a little bit too much. We accept all money, all in-kind donations. Take it, and we'll figure what to do with it. And the second way that you could help Walkathon, last year we started a new program. It's an online pledge, online donate.
Pledge Star?
Yeah, Pledge Star. It's a way to ask your friends and family for money. It's easy. You create your own profile and then enter 10 email addresses or more. We're asking for every family to enter 10. And if you enter 10 email addresses, your child, whether or not you have 1, 2, or 4, will receive a coupon from Carvel Ice Cream. So the Winnick family was very generous, and they're donating free scoops of ice cream for a cone or a cup to any kid that enters 10 email addresses. Pretty easy. And the third way is to volunteer for the event. So there's a volunteer sign-up link. Please go on. You could volunteer to just stand in front of the school and talk about Pledge Star, just promote Walkathon, to volunteer the day of the event, to pour water in people's mouths, to count labs.
It's really fun.
Right.
It is
yeah.
really fun.
It's just a fun day. Does anyone have any questions? I know I just spoke really fast.
No, you did great.
So I saw the leaderboard on Pledge Star. Is there going to be a prize for the winning
Oh,
class?
yes, thank you for reminding me.
It feels like that stage, but it
Yeah,
was a legit
thank you. So yes, there are 2 contests. One for the classroom that with the highest percentage of participation, and for the classroom that makes the most money. The 2 classrooms, or it could be 1 classroom, will have like a big dance party for the class. The kids will we'll do something really fun with the class. So, any other questions?
I have a question. So the corporate sponsors, is there like a form for them to fill out?
Yes, we can send you a form.
And then if they don't, so if they give 500, they get to be on, you said that they take anything.
Yes, for $500, for at least $500, you must donate at least $500 to be on the banner.
And the banner is?
It's hung right outside of school. It says, thank you for supporting our music and orchestra program.
And do they have their own banner, or is it everybody's on the same banner?
Well, if you donate $1,000, you can get your own banner. For $500, you have to share a banner. For $250, I think your name is mentioned. For $500, your logo is on the banner.
Okay.
Sorry,
And also through the social media, we're advertising them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a big
Yes.
logo, like, the logo is really big.
Yes,
Is
yes,
one still
yes,
hanging?
it's a good deal.
Is there one still hanging up?
It's hung in front of in
The drop-off?
yes. the
Is it
drop-off.
out there all year?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on the left-hand side.
Yes, it's a pretty good deal, I think,
Okay.
for the,
Veronica,
yes.
viewers asking this form, how can they get the form?
We can email the form,
Maybe through room carrots.
yes, we'll send out the form through room
Okay.
cards and send it out to
And
everyone.
Veronica, with a Pledge Star, let's say I have a client who's, corporate, whatever. If I put their email on it, does it say on there that they could, the $500 option, or is that just pledge whatever you
No, that's a little bit
So it's
different.
different.
That is different. Maybe that's something that we could think about. But Pledge Star, you can also post it on Facebook, say that you enter 10 email addresses, and you post it on your page.
Okay.
It can work both ways. But corporate sponsorship, good idea. That's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Please give me $500.
Sure.
And we already have, I know of 3 corporate sponsors that we already run.
I think we have 3 more.
Perfect.
We have 6 right now. Yeah, we're really rocking it.
Yeah.
Um,
Are they local businesses around here?
Yes,
In West LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Can you name any names or no?
Provident Financial Management.
Woo!
speaking of fundraising, we have another fun fundraising event. So we've done Kendra Scott, we've done Sugar Fina, we're now going to do Codalise, as I think you pronounce it. Somebody can correct me on that. But it is a French Codalise.
Oh,
That. So French skincare line, fantastic. They have a beautiful spa location in the Century City Mall. So we're going to do an event there on April 25th from 6 to 8 p.m. They're going to open up their spa to us. We need to guarantee 30 attendees. So there is a sign-up link online. I'll also pass around a form tonight. So if you are interested in attending, please sign up. As long as we can get the 30, they'll do the event for us. There are lots of good things going on. So they will provide wine from the Codalise family vineyard. They will also provide French cheeses and healthy bites. There will be stations set up
Someone did not like
for
that.
complimentary mini facials, as well as skin analysis. And then there's a gift with purchase. So for a certain dollar amount of purchase, they will give you a free item that night. There's also going to be a raffle, and one lucky winner will win a 50-minute facial. And then the best part is 20% of all the proceeds from the evening, not just from our attendees, but anybody that shopped in the store, go to Booster. So a really great event to get together with other parents at the school, to get some fantastic skincare products, and to know that you're making a donation to Booster. So I will send around that sign-up sheet now. And yes.
2 questions. Is there a deadline you need to know to get 30? So that they know?
Ideally sooner rather than later. So Sonia, who's also a first grade mom, and I are working on it. And this one is a little bit more intensive than the other ones in terms of communication and everything else. So if we're not getting it there, just want to stop work on it. But, sooner rather than later.
And then for the parents or the people that already signed up to select the date, are we already signed in, or do we have to sign in?
No, so there's a separate RSVP email. So yeah, I will send this around, or if you want to just click on the link in there. Just because that was as we worked on picking the date. Now that we have the date, I need to actually get a list that I need to turn over to them. Unlike the other events, this one they do require an attendee list. So yeah, if you're interested, just sign up there. We'll also email out the link as well. All right, so that is that. The community Facebook page. So for anybody that was a member of the French Kids in LA Facebook page, you may have noticed the name change. We also have a fantastic new cover photo, thanks to a school parent that happened to catch that beautiful photo one day after the rain of the rainbow over the word Richland. Gorgeous. So that page is now called the Richland Avenue Elementary Community. We've made a few changes to the group. Number one, we took out the word French kids. We didn't want it to be focused on French. Our school includes lots of people who, some are in the French program, some are not. So now it's a little bit more inclusive. We're also going through and making sure that everybody that's a part of the group actually goes to the school. There were some people that were added that were prospective families or were here and then moved. Yes?
A viewer asks if you could please post the Codalise event on that page.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So back to Facebook. Where was I? So we are going through trying to remove so that we can ensure that it is truly our Richland community on the page. And it complements the general Facebook page, which is open to the public, knowing that you can post pictures and all kinds of good stuff on there, and it is seen by just the Richland community. So I put together a little one-pager that's 3 pages. So if you want to take a peek at that, in the booklet, starts on page 5. So first we start with just what's the difference between the 2 pages, because I think a number of people have had this question as to why we have 2, what the reason is. So first, if we take a look at the Richland Avenue Elementary Community page, it's a closed secret group, and it's only for current families, and it's intended for conversation among members, so any one of us can post there. Unlike the Richland Avenue school page, that's a public page open to anyone in the general public that feels like looking at it, and only Cami can post as Richland Avenue. On the community page, fellow parents are moderators and admins. On the Richland Avenue page, Cami is the admin. On the community page, posts can be seen only by members of the group, so it's a great place, as I mentioned before, to share the photos, event details, and things intended for our internal community, whereas the public page can be seen by anyone in the general public. Included link there to join. If you haven't yet joined and liked the public page, definitely do that, because there's lots of really great updates posted there. And then if you're not yet a member of the Richland Avenue Elementary community, because it is a secret group, you need to be invited by someone you're Facebook friends with. So ask your Facebook friends that go here to school to invite you. If that doesn't work, ask any one of us. We can Facebook friend you and then invite you. But want to make sure that everyone is on both of those pages so you're getting all of the updates that come through both of those channels. Yes.
We should also get a, how you have the page link, there should be a grouping too. You can personalize, you can like personalize it.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. So Amani, your neighbor and friend, is leading a lot of these efforts. So yeah, we'll definitely talk to her and make sure that we're doing whatever we can to get that info out there. As you take a look at the next page, other people have mentioned they don't necessarily get the updates, they don't see when things are posted. So I put together a quick little overview of how to make sure, if you're interested in getting the updates, not everybody wants to be flooded with updates, but if you are, how to change your settings. So if you take a look there, and if you want to do it right now on your phone, feel more than free. If you're on the Richland Avenue Elementary community page, you click that word where I show the arrow. You then go to the next screen and click both following as well as favorited. So favorited, make sure it comes up first in your news feed. So if you have limited time, you're only clicking on your news feed a few times a day, you know you'll definitely see the updates from this page. Then if you click notifications, so the little bell right next to it, it'll take you to that third screen, and there you can set what types of notifications you would like to receive. So if you click on all posts, it means anytime anybody posts in the group, you'll get that update. You can also click highlights or just your friends' posts. So a few different options there, but if you want to make sure you're in the loop, click all posts. And then if you want push notifications, that final arrow down there, click on that as well. Then as we take a look at our public page, so the ways that you stay updated there, so on the next page, page 7 of your handouts, click on the like button. And then if you click those little 3 dots on the top next to where it says donate, that will take you to the next page. Make sure you click on following to ensure it comes up in your news feed. Then if you go to the next page, you click get notifications, edit notification, then you click on the bottom, see first. So once again, you'll make sure that comes up first in your news feed, so you'll always get those updates. Then third, click edit notification settings, and then it'll take you to that 4th notifications page. There you can click on just highlights, you can click off, or if you want to make sure you're getting everything, click standard. So if you do all of that for both pages, you should be in the loop because you'll get all those updates. You'll make sure it shows up in your news feed. So if anyone has any questions, we'll also email out this little tutorial afterwards. But yeah, feel free to go through on your phone now, make sure you're getting those updates, and you'll stay in the loop. All right, and then I think I have the next item on the agenda as well, which is fundraising. So recently, at a coffee with the principal, our principal, who runs coffee with the principal, mentioned that we are tracking to lose Title I status in about 3 years potentially, given the changing demographics of our school. So with that, we will also lose funding. The estimate was around $100,000. So that would be something then that if we were to maintain current level of programming and everything we have going on at the school, we need to be made up for by booster. So we want to make sure that we're putting plans in place now, so if that does happen at some point, we already have ways to start making up that money so we can keep the same level that everyone's accustomed here at the school. We've done lots of really great fundraising events throughout the year. One thing that we did recently was talk to a parent at the Manhattan Beach Education Foundation, and she oversees fundraising for, it's a group of schools in the Manhattan Beach School District, so I believe there's 7 schools total, but they bring in about $7 million. And they do it primarily through corporate sponsorships and corporate donations. So it's not the people within the school that are donating. In fact, their donation request is about the same as ours. It is per child, not per family, but they are requesting a very similar amount. But where they really make a lot of that money is through corporate. So we wanted to get a group of people together and thinking we can, go talk to corporations just like they can. We got a lot of really great insights. They do pitch decks, they set up formal meetings with various people, approaching some local businesses here, also going to corporate headquarters. So want people that are passionate, that have ideas, they want to help us with all this. We can lay out what we think in terms of corporate fundraising strategy, what our plans might be, actually start putting together some of those pitch decks and materials, and then go and do the presentations and see what we can do. There's a lot of work that goes into some of these events. I know like last year's silent auction when we were debating what we were going to do this year with it, it is so much work, as Kristen can attest to. And it brings in $9,000. If we were able to go, make a few phone calls, go do a corporate presentation, and bring in that amount or more, it could be a lot more efficient way to bring in a lot of money to the school. So we have lots of great ideas floating around. So I'll pass around the sign-up sheet. Just want to see who's interested and hopefully rally a group of people who want to be a part of this. I think it'll help change the direction of the school in the future if we're able to do something successful with it. So it's a really great time to get in and start doing something fun.
Can I add one thing?
Yes?
Also, I think it's important that we do it now because as we were talking with the woman from Manhattan Beach, right now we're at Title I, which is is great. I mean, we have a lot of opportunities with writing grants and getting money from different corporations because we're Title I. So the sooner we can get going, the sooner we can start building our bank account, the better. So that's kind of where we're like, all right, we need names, we need helpers, we need volunteers, and we need to get going, because in 3 years or 4 years, whatever it is, we're gonna be struggling, and we just need to get the ball rolling now. So please volunteer if you have any desire to sit through a bunch of meetings
And we're taking whatever people can donate. If you're only available for, an hour a week and only want to do something at home by yourself on your laptop and not come to meetings, great. If you're available to help put together a pitch deck, great. We're also soliciting to see if people have skills that they want to help lend us. Whether it be attorneys to help look over things if we're doing, grant writing and contracts and things like that. Anybody that's really great with PowerPoint. So just bringing together whatever people can give. So don't think that you don't have a lot of time. Like even if you're only available every once in a while or just want to be like on the outskirts, we do need a core group of people who want to work on this, but that can be whatever your schedule permits.
absolutely.
Yes, Julie.
My question was, during the coffee with the principal, we talked about what Title I was. So for those that don't know, can you explain what it is and why it's important to get in now versus in 2 years?
Okay, so Title I is Title I is a kind of like a ranking that we get based on socioeconomic status. So when kids apply, when they get a meal application, based on your income, families will qualify for either a reduced price lunch or free lunch, or you might have to pay for lunch. So the state looks at schools that have Title I, have a high percentage of Title I students as having a greater need at that school. And a lot of these organizations, when they look to give money, or they donate money, or field trips, or buses, or after-school programs, they look to give to Title I schools first, because they feel like those are the schools that have the greatest need. Why help a rich private school or a West LA school that doesn't have any Title I kids when you can make more of an impact helping kids that are a higher percentage of inner city kids, or who need, there's a greater need there. So based on the percentage of Title I, or based on the number of Title I kids that we have, we get funding from the federal government, okay? When you're over, I believe it's like 55%, I want to say, you get a higher dollar amount. Okay, so let's say you get maybe like $480 per kid. Okay, once you fall below that, you get half that amount.
So 55% of the students?
Yes. Okay, so 55% of our student body population receives free or reduced price lunching. That's how reduced price lunch meals. So that's how they look at it. So we get approximately from the federal government, we get, well, that money goes to LAUSD, and then LAUSD like, distributes it to us. So we get about $100,000 if you count up all the little budgets and all the little pots of money that we get. That goes to pay mostly for our coordinator position, TAs, instructional material, after-school tutoring is a big one that we do. So without that, that's a lot of things that happen on the district's dime. So without that money, we'd have to find a way to either raise more money to keep those going, or we would have to lose some of those programs that we offer our kids. Okay, so it's very important. If you look at schools that have 92, 95, 98% Title I, those kids, those schools get about, when I was at Saturn, we were like 97% Title I. We got $500,000, $600,000 a year from the district in Title I funding, which is a big budget. That allows you to buy lots of personnel, lots of TAs, lots of programs. You can do a lot with that kind of money. Richland, much smaller school, smaller number of Title I kids, we get about $100,000 a year, okay? And that's gonna shrink little by little by little to the point where we're not gonna get very much, okay? Now the flip side is that money it's earmarked for special programs and special things, okay? So if I say I wanna buy, I put some money aside and say I wanna buy instructional material to purchase books for the library, well, then the federal government wants to know, what books are you buying? Exactly, I need to write, we're gonna buy these books, here's the title, here's the author. And if we decide to buy something else, they're gonna say, well, that book is not on your single plan, so you can't buy that. So it's a little ridiculous in some areas. Whereas if you fundraise that money, you wanna buy a library books, you just buy what you want, whatever you want. So it's a lot, ideally, if we can raise the same amount of money, it would be okay to lose the Title I status, because we can then use that money for however we wanna use it. Whereas when you're using it as is, there's lots of stipulations that the federal government puts in.
Does it mean we don't have to go through the LAUSD approved, it's like when you get a pothole filled, you've got to go through their particular vendors, then we can just pick.
Yes, so for example, now if we want to buy computers, we have to go through Ari Jones, they're the vendor for anything PC related, or Apple. Okay, and then you pay their markups, you pay whatever they charge you. If you're not a Title I school, then you can go to Best Buy or walk into the Apple store on 3rd Street Promenade and say, hey, I want 10 iPads, bam. So it's a lot easier. But, again, that money is put to good use, and it's a lot of money just to lose.
But she mentioned potholes, so we can't just use whoever we want to fix.
No, for big projects like that, no, you still have to go through the district. But as far as like different vendors, as far as instructional materials, computers, stuff like that, you're wide open to who you want to go with.
So we can't put in all the shades that we want.
No,
Okay.
no, that's still past legacy guidelines.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. So I will pass around the sign-up sheet. It's exciting. It's new. We can really make a difference, so please sign up if you're interested. And then also on a housekeeping note, make sure you sign up on the sign-in sheet if you haven't yet signed in for tonight. Did anybody not get that yet? All right, I'll pass that over there. Also, you've probably noticed by now, but there's pizza. Make sure you get some. And
There's water too.
yes, pizza and waters. All right, and then next up we have Pamela.
Thank you, Danielle. So.
Did you guys rehearse this? It's really good.
Many times.
Very smooth, yeah.
And the other goes to.
Hey, I'm Pamela Solar, reporting from.
Mr. G's, is it work? When he talks into it, it works. When I
Because
talk
he holds it
into
real close. It's working.
Speak a little louder, but it'll.
It
works?
does work.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, again, you saw me pipe in when Danielle was talking, but I think it's really important that we need a lot of different voices. We need a lot of different perspectives. So we don't want the same people making, all the decisions. We want to hear from every interested. So please, if you're, sign up for this fundraising committee. And now we're moving on to the financials. So I can't hold this and talk and.
I can't move because it's connected
Okay,
to the
so,
charger.
I'll just talk loud.
Very precise.
So,
Do you want me to hold that too?
And assets and liabilities, that's very precise budget.
So we have our financial. Right now we have $168,000 in our bank account, which is fantastic. That's page 9. Page 10, and you can see all the different events and different things that have gone on this year. Back to school night, booster merch. We're selling booster merch after the meeting tonight, so that's great. Cookie doughs brought in 2,500. The giving campaign's amazing. It's brought in 100,000. Yeah, Scare Fair. The walkathon's already brought in $350, and they haven't even done anything yet. So good job. I mean, they've done a lot behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong. Everything's going great. If you have any questions, let me know. Page 12 is the forecast, where we see what we have in the bank account and what we're still set to spend this year, and our estimated budget for next year. Right now, our estimated budget for next year is $152,000. I think that will go up a little bit, but that's going to be at our next meeting. We're going to pass out the budget, and we'll go over it a little bit, and then at the May meeting, we're going to vote on it. We don't decide anything. We put it down on paper, and you're able to add things or take things off of it, but we vote as a group. So I think that's important to know, but I think you have to be at the meeting well, we can talk about that later, but please come to the May meeting.
Can I ask a quick question? Yeah. And I apologize because this is the perfect answer. I was not at one of the last meetings where perhaps you guys talked about there was the extra money that we voted on where to spend that. Have you gone through where that actually was spent?
Yeah.
In one of the previous meetings? Okay.
Yes, but
That's fine.
we still have a couple items that we're still, we set aside $1,000 for the teacher's lounge, but fortunately, I mean, Amani and Abby aren't here, but they've already donated a refrigerator and a couch, so that's great. Another parent, one of the things that didn't make it on the approved budget were the flags. But a parent came to me and said, I really like the idea of the flags, so I'm gonna
Fabulous.
sponsor that. So we just have to order flags. We've already ordered the books.
We're in the process of ordering the flights, so we're trying to find one like all the French wanna make sure they're big enough to display.
Yeah.
that way.
The yoga mats have been ordered and
Perfect.
received, so we're absolutely going through them. All
Yeah,
the-
I wanted to ask you about that. I know the yoga mats have been ordered. The yoga class is still happening?
Yeah.
Okay, because somehow I heard like the teacher was gone and
Oh,
then.
she was
She
on,
took a little break, she took
Yeah.
a little vacation.
They had
When
yoga
is that
today.
happening?
First grade had today.
I don't know what
It's
days it is.
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
So they had yoga today, they're using the new mats that takes place in this classroom.
Okay.
And plus we were on strike, so there was a little bit of
Okay, so
time.
there was a little bit of a break, and that is weekly, like.
Yeah.
She was part of during the Tiger Garage, she had a float, so.
The yoga.
The yoga teacher.
She was in a unicorn
She was in like a big
pajamas.
unicorn pajama, yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
then Jen, to answer your question about that ballot, a lot of the money was dedicated for the bonuses for the
Okay,
teachers,
great.
and that did get distributed. We got the vote in just in time, so
Yeah.
Pamela and I handed that out just before the holidays, so everybody
Great.
was very excited.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But if you have any questions about the forecast, which is page 12, about how it works, let me know. But we're right on budget. Our estimated overage right now is $350, so that's perfect. We don't want to be over or under, so that's fantastic. Maggie?
Do you think the teacher's lounge needs a small table with 4 chairs, like a little dining set?
If someone
Do you
has-
have
I have one.
Yes. Please send us a picture of it.
There's no shortage of tables and chairs in the teacher's
Yeah.
lounge, so that would be, unless we're replacing all our tables and chairs with like nice, I don't know, that might be. But yes, I mean,
Send a picture.
Send a picture, yeah.
There might be somewhere in the school.
Somewhere in the school. Maybe we'll redo the parent center after.
So that's the treasurer's report. The next thing up is the budget and the elections, which I kind of touched on. We're going to distribute the budget at the next meeting, and that's a morning meeting in April, 8:30 here in this room. We're going to also attach on page 13 are the officers and all the coordinator positions that are available. We want to involve everyone in the officers and the coordinator positions, that even if you can't come to the meeting. So we really want really want to let people know ahead of time who's running for office, and we want everyone to feel included. So if you're interested in running for any position, even president, that's great. But any position, and please talk to us. I'll get more details on that. But also there's a bunch of coordinator positions that we're looking for. A communications coordinator. Cammie was the communications coordinator this year, so we're looking for a new one next year. Kristen has already volunteered to be the volunteer liaison for next year. Jackie, we put Jackie on here, so she was last year's. Alan, are you still in it for merch coordinator for sales?
Okay, put me on the spot, yes.
She's good at that.
Good at that.
Room parent liaison, we have Helena. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff on here, but please take a look. Like I said,
Jen for communications coordinator. First
Sorry?
grade, I'm nominating Jen for communications coordinator. She's been fabulous in first grade.
so but we're going to ask people to put together for the officers' positions, not the coordinator positions, but we're going to ask you to put together a little bio, what grade your kid in,
So people are running, they're not just being like nominated like
for the
before?
offices.
Yeah.
You're always nominated and running.
Oh.
So when do they give their politician speech?
Well, we're not going to do a speech.
But like you're saying, they need to write a bio and all that.
Well, like, what is your name? What grade is your child in?
So after they're nominated. Pamela, is it after you're nominated, then you write this bio?
It's all at the same time.
I don't know.
It's just so we walk in a room, so when we walk in the room and you've never, met, like, Maggie, you want to run for an office, but nobody knows you. Like, you can at least say, no, I've been here 5 years, and it's just so more people, it's not a popularity contest, it's like, I'm here, like, I want to participate. Right? Is that a bad idea? Because I can cut it out.
idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
Pamela,
Yeah,
do you
looks
put anything about what makes you qualified for that position?
Well, let's talk about it.
Enthusiasm.
Time.
It's like, is it?
Lots of
No,
time.
I'm serious too.
On the day.
Huh?
Just the way that it goes, is it again, like, we don't really know who's gonna be nominated?
No, that's what I'm trying to get the,
Right, so we find out who's nominated the month before, or just leading up to that meeting?
at least leading up to that meeting. I mean, we're gonna, talk about it in April, but I'm not sure that everyone's, I mean, it's already March.
That's true,
you want-
like, people should know before
Yeah.
the meeting whether or not they're nominated
yeah.
too.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like last.
Well, I guess there's a disconnect here. What I'm trying to ask is, how does this group know who wants to run for something?
That is a good point.
Like, you might not even.
You would self-nominate or someone else, or you would nominate somebody else. And
So
then
at
say,
which
like,
meeting does that happen?
Starting tomorrow.
Just email?
Just email me.
Email,
Yeah.
the Richland booster
Excellent.
email.
Yeah.
Damien's nominating everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Email any of the officers and,
No, I don't want to run. I'm just asking.
That's all I'm
You're
nominating.
No.
Top of my list, first person to nominate.
That should be a position that.
I don't want to run.
Be the webcam
A
guy.
paid position.
I don't want to run.
Hayden Hudson Love.
Media coordinator.
How much money you guys raise? Once we get over $500,000, we can talk about meetings.
Yeah, right?
So interestingly, they do have in Manhattan Beach. They have people that are part of their fundraising committee that are paid positions.
Yeah, because if you're making $7 million.
You need people. It's like, yeah. So let's get there and do that. Maybe you can
It's a full-time job.
But, so, is that a great idea, a terrible idea?
It's a great idea.
But I want to be able to send something out to people ahead of time to say, these are the people that are running, and this is,
I generally think the more information people have before an election, the better.
Yes.
So start thinking of people you want to nominate and,
Oh, I-
and like send them in.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
She says starting tomorrow. I'm email 12:01 tonight.
All right.
If we push to have it all done for the month before,
On the April meeting.
and then,
I think
but it
that's a-
still stays open if anybody
Yeah.
wants to like rock up on the day.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, I'm like, obviously I'm involved, I'm into this, like I'm telling you guys now, it's like,
We're making buttons for Noonan, right?
yeah. Noonan for secretary. That's why he's gonna.
So do you send communication asking people to come out and say, hey, I want to run for this position? Like, how will people know that they should come out and say, hey, I want to be secretary, or I want to be...
Yeah, that's why we're talking about it now, so,
You can send it through the room parents.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
it's something that you put on one of their notes, of like,
Yeah.
hey, by the way, they're starting to do this, and these are the categories.
So I think that before you send it out, we want to update like the duties of the officer and secretary and treasurer, and the time, time that they put into it so that people have an idea of what's going on. We have a lot of that already, but it just didn't fit on this packet. So, and then, yeah, we'll send it out to the room parents, and then okay, we're gonna send it out through the room parents, and then if you're interested in running for an office, or if you're interested in nominating someone for an office, then you would probably respond to the email address on that sheet that goes out.
Thank you.
How's that, Maggie?
Perfect.
Maybe for president.
It would seem to make sense to set a deadline that you're not gonna take submissions afterwards, right? Cause you said, try to get it set before the April meeting, but then still let more come in? Maybe like 2 weeks before the May meeting or something?
He's gonna wrap up that Tiger Draw video.
It's really good.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Brad's awesome. I just want to take a quick minute to thank all of the volunteers because we could not have done this without you. And the kids had a blast, so you should feel really happy that, the thing you wanted to contribute. Adam, Kristen, Carrie, Marta, Damien, Mac, who has a longer name, but that's his nickname, Mac. Tony, Veronica, my partner at the MC, who did not know before that day he was going to be MCing, much less translating. Ken was really awesome with that, and Brad also. And I'm really sorry if I forgot anyone that helped out on the day of the event. There was a lot going on, and I think there were a few other faces over there at the table I saw helping out that I may have forgotten.
The grandparents were there.
The grandparent, I said Carrie,
yes.
maybe, I think Fran was there also, so thank you, Fran.
My poor mother-in-law.
Okay, I also wanted to say thank you to some sponsors that we had. And that was Mary Hughes Sunset Gardens. I'm just gonna take a minute to plug them. They're really awesome. It's like a family-owned nursery on Ocean Park, 1526 Ocean Park in Santa Monica. Their plants are wonderful. They donated the seeds that Tree Man's crew, Tree Man seedlings threw out. They donated all those seeds. And also New Orleans Sweet Treats, which made the king cakes. They donated some king cakes as well. And they are also an awesome family-run business. It's two sisters from New Orleans that make all the stuff themselves using original recipes, and they can be found at neworleanssweettreats.com. I just want to say one other thing about the event, which is that this year we actually had some outside money come into the event, which was awesome because it is part of the idea that birthed this event that so if crews in New Orleans spend, you know, $1 million on their parades and throws to be part of this spectacle, clearly there's something innate and instinctual about being part of this collective ritual that is a Mardi Gras parade. And that theory is now proving true. We had a neighbor of the school who walked by and saw the event last year. They couldn't even make it to this year's event, but they were just so happy that they were doing it again. They sponsored a crew. And so that was a cool moment to see. And I think that much like you guys are talking about outside money tonight, which is great, next year I want to, having a little more time to prepare without the strike, without my family moving, a couple weeks before Tiger Gras, and without presumably another newborn, I'll have a little more time to hit up some businesses for outside money next year, as well as get businesses to participate in the spectacle, because I think it would be a lot of fun. So I'm very interested in any feedback that anybody has, because this is all really a crazy thing to put together. So I'm up for any ideas and observations. I can tell you that some of the things that are already in line for next year that I know we're gonna do is not serve king cake in the middle. We're gonna move it to the end. Yeah, there's reasons why I wanted to keep it that way, but those reasons have shown to be to have lost again.
When you take Tiger Gras to middle school, then you could do it that way. The middle schoolers are
a little more, yeah. So the king cake will be moved to the end. The other thing is, I think we're gonna have a less circuitous parade route so that people actually finish it. And we're gonna try to keep the crews coming a little more steady. It'll probably go a little quicker, maybe not, maybe we'll have more crews and it'll take as long, but it'll go a little quicker, and I think that'll help keep people in their seats a little bit more and give it a more like parade-like feel. I was a little concerned earlier about whether we sort of have enough stuff to look at to kind of hold a parade if it was just going one after the other, but I think we've reached it, and presumably next year there'll be even more awesome crews, and so I think that'll be the way to go going forward. Yep, that's it, guys. I just, yeah, thank you guys all so much for supporting again. It's a really awesome event and everyone loves it, so thanks a lot.
Thank you, Alan. All the work and dedication put into that. All right, next we will talk very quickly about some opportunities. I was scrolling through Facebook and saw another neighboring school post pictures of their spelling bee winner, and I thought it was adorable. So I asked Mr. G if we had a spelling bee, and he had said no, but the idea has come up a few times over the years. So we would need a volunteer parent as well as a volunteer member of the staff to spearhead that. So if anybody feels as passionately as I do about spelling bees, and would like to help be a spelling bee volunteer, it's something really fun that we can do here. I don't know, I just view it as like a milestone in elementary school.
I wonder if we try to source the teacher first, and that might inform like who wants to do it.
Yeah, we could. I just didn't want to go through the effort of trying to bother a teacher if we didn't have a parent that was willing to do it. But yeah.
You don't want to do it?
Did you see my name 6 times on here? I'm doing fundraising. That's my big push now. So yes. So if anybody wants to take that on, fantastic. We can also try to parallel path and find a teacher.
Like Mr. Gatos was like, I want to do it.
Then you're in?
The teachers would be like, okay, parents.
Okay, so Helena will do it if Mr. Gatos says something. Okay, so we will work on that. Also, on a related note, talent show. Another thing that has come up a few times over the years. This one would be a little bit more time intensive, but if anybody pictures their kids on stage doing a little talent show, it's adorable. So we would need a parent volunteer as well as someone on the staff. And they could coordinate acts, it could be lip syncing, it could be whatever their talent is, music, whatever. So just an idea, but something that if someone feels like they might want to take that on, it could be a fun new addition to the school. So we'll send out an email with signups, and if you're interested, great. Yeah, so you want to do that one too?
Well, the thing is, I did my block party again this year, and it was fantastic. It was a lot of neighbours, and we had a stage, and because it was raining, the band didn't come, but we were all dancing on it again. But it could be the talent show, and I feel like it's. We were thinking we'd do the 4th of July next year, so we don't worry about the rain. And it's just such a nice way to sort of pull the community into the school, and I feel like we missed it this year. I missed it because I didn't really advertise that on the street. But I was going to make more of an effort next year, make sure it's going to be sunny, get the stage again, and just really kind of like pull the school in. And the talent show is a perfect way to maybe do that. And it's so fun to have like that big audience and not just big kids, the school kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
A talent show in July would be trickier, I think, to get kids to do though.
Oh, 4th of July, oh.
Yeah.
Summer break.
When was the dance? June
Like,
1st?
Yeah, early June.
We can have like talent show dance.
Yeah.
I'm Butler.
We're gonna dance on Butler too?
Well, yeah.
That was
Yes,
fun.
that's
The dance was
I was
fun.
there.
Yes,
I know you were there.
Okay, so there's
Yes, lots of ideas. Yeah, so if anybody wants to spearhead, fantastic.
I'll see you there.
Great. Elena's doing
Pull it
talent
into
show.
what I'm doing already. I know.
All right, STAR program.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read what Miss Lisa told me to tell you guys.
You have it on your watch?
I mean, who doesn't? Nova Session 4 starts March 25th, online Tubi, TBA, Monday Rockstar, Wednesday Technology, Wednesday Play Studio. Summer camp brochures will go out on Friday. Danielle.
All right, we have a few things here in public comments. We will go through quickly. We'll then open it up for public comments. But there's an announcement that I think you're going to want to hear, so that's why I want to make sure I get to it. So next booster meeting is April 11th in the morning. Then we'll be back here at night in May. French books. So Jen, to answer your question about the ballot, we ordered the French books to the Classroom Library, so those are on their way. Track is starting in March. If you haven't yet completed a release form, do so. Spirit Gear, Alan, I believe, is going to be leading that tonight, right after the meeting.
Here, right after the meeting, right where the pizzas will no longer be.
Yes, we are moments away from Spirit Gear.
Yes, it's giving.
Sugar Fina fundraiser. So end of January, we did a Sugar Fina event, and there were about 20 moms and some dads that came out, and we were in store, fantastic event, had a chance to bond with each other. There were a lot of parents from a variety of different grades, so it was great. I know a lot of people afterwards really enjoyed getting to know people in other grades, and then 15% of all the proceeds from the evening went to the school. After the event, because we have hosted an event and because I personally am just a really big shopper there, they have contacted me and said they had a number of items that have holiday packaging, so little candy canes on them, Santa Claus, and they can no longer sell them in store because it's odd to sell Christmas items and Hanukkah items in March, but the candy is perfectly good. So they gave it to me, and I brought a bunch of it here tonight. So before you leave, take one or more than one.
Woohoo!
Yeah, the little cubes are between $7.50 and $8.50 a piece, so lots of good value there.
Not today, though.
No, not there. Just telling you the value of what you're getting.
Yeah.
So we have hundreds of
they're
dollars worth
free.
of candy here. Yes. So you're getting it all for free. I'm going to do that. There's lots of candy.
Oh my God.
So there's so much candy to go around. Yes. Yeah, so make sure you take some tonight. There are some holiday flavors. I highly recommend the sugar cookies. But yeah, lots of good stuff. And then coffee with the principal. So we had some conversations around, I believe someone suggested pizza with the principal, cocktails with the principal. There's been a few iterations of that. So wanted to see, would anybody appreciate an evening coffee with the principal meeting? Versus, yeah, happy with the principal. Okay.
You guys have to attend.
You know we're here, aren't we? And there are no cocktails.
Booster. So coffee with the principal doesn't usually that's not quite as big as a turnout. I mean, there's a good turnout. It depends. Like sometimes it's like 5 people, sometimes it's like 30 people. But yeah, we kind of really need to make sure you guys come to that.
What if you had a sign up?
Yeah, I was gonna say RSVP.
Like, I need to have at least 10 people signed up for me to not go home after school.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Any other public comments, Damien?
We have a bike to school day scheduled, but my son's playing video games on my phone, so I can't look up when it is. Oh, good. Right now,
School planner.
well, we're only planning at the moment for the traditional like homework pass, park and bike down from the church and stuff like that. But if there's volunteers that want to do something else or could be around that day to do something more, we can always figure out something with Jacob to do during PE time or something like that to make it bikier. But as we've been talking about it, it's so close to the end of the year that we usually, I think we're going to try to do the more bikey stuff in the fall one than the spring one. But I don't want to say no if there's enthusiasm to do more.
Great.
May 31st. May 31st. So you like the school ends like the next day or something?
Yes, next day.
But 8 days, half September, April. Okay, there's a 31 days.
It was like 1 week after that.
All right. If there's nothing else, here's your sugar cube.